Hi, I'm Dave Dinkle. Today's Deal Talk is about real-life examples of doing deals with no money, no credit, and no risk. In these two examples, you'll see that combined profits are a little over $70,000. This is property number one. And what I've done is cut the A to B HUD and the B to C HUDs in both these examples in two parts. The important part about the top half of the A to B HUD is the purchase price. The student put the property under contract for $380,000. I avoid using the term purchase because this is the actual closing statement. So the property was actually purchased for a matter of a few minutes while he then resold it to the C buyer. This is the bottom half of the HUD. What I'm doing on these is highlighting what's very important just to save time. No earnest money deposit. Now, I talk about this all the time, and I get it from realtors. You don't have a valid contract. Well, it depends on how you do it. We set this up beforehand, so we have valid contracts. If a seller decides not to come to closing, another investor comes along and says, gee, you don't have an earnest money deposit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. A realtor in the same way. A realtor says, gee, it's not a valid contract. Once again, I'm not going to get into the details of how we do it and why, but very simply, you don't have to have a cash deposit in the HUD statement to show that you have a valid earnest money deposit. Here's the bottom line. $381,913.49 needed to close. Student has no money, so we're going to do transactional funding on this, and you'll see that come out of the B to C HUD. This is the top half of the B to C HUD. What's important here, purchase price $425,000. Here's the bottom half now. The most important thing on this bottom half is the fact that the end buyer put up an earnest deposit of $25,000. If he defaults, we're going to claim his $25,000 earnest money deposit. Next thing here is, in fact, the net profit on the transaction, $35,252.16. Sort of in between that is the transactional funding. That includes the funding fee, not just the original amount, but the funding fee. So in summary, no money in the deal from the student, net profit of $35,252.16, or about 9.2% net profit based on the original purchase price. The listing agent in this case made $19,000 commission, but he only got it on the A to B leg. This is property number two. Top half of the A to B HUD, purchase price $210,500. However, what's important is coming up right here, a seller credit for $3,000. Now, why is it a seller credit? The student explained to the listing agent that if he got a price reduction, the listing agent would not, in fact, get a commission on the price reduction amount. In this case, 5% or 6% of $3,000, $150 to $180. By simply titling it a seller credit, the agent now gets the commission back. Is that really important? Well, in this case, it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but what if that price reduction or seller credit is $80,000 or $90,000, and we've had those? So it's important, if you're an agent listening, that you look at this as a way to not lose the commission, but yet give your buyer a price reduction. There's the bottom line. Because of the seller credit, the actual purchase price net is $206,938.80. Oh, by the way, again, this is the student purchasing the property. No earnest money deposit. Okay, this is the top half of the B to C HUD. Now, if you're saying to yourself, why didn't he go to the back pages of the A to B HUD, and why isn't he going to the back page of the B to C HUD? It doesn't matter, because the only thing on those pages are expenses that are shown on the front page anyway. We could spend another 10 or 15 minutes going through each line item. All that matters is what you pay and what you net as the profit. Obviously, you want to go through those line items yourself and make sure you're paying what you should be. So here we are again. Top half B to C HUD, $250,000 sales price. Now remember on the A to B side, we just paid $206,000 for it. This is the B to C bottom half of the HUD, and I want you to see the earnest money deposit that our student required from the end buyer. Now, why in the world is it $9,975? Because when the end buyer sent his earnest money deposit of $10,000, the bank subtracted a $25 wire fee. That's the reason for it. It's not an odd amount that he chose. It just happened that the end buyer didn't realize they were going to subtract $25. So there's 100% transactional funding. It also includes the transactional funding fee. This is a choice by closing agents whether they put it as a separate line item or they include it as the payback. It doesn't matter, as long as I get my money for transactional funding and you get your profit, which is in this case is $34,750.26. What does that look like now? In summary, no money in the deal, net profit of 34,750.26, or about 16.8% net profit on the original purchase price. The listing agent made $12,650 commission on the A to B leg, and frankly, you can figure that out whether it's 5 or 6%. It doesn't matter. It's not uncommon for us to net 2 times or even 3 times what the commission is that an agent would make on the same transaction. That's not disparaging agents. As I've said so many times in front of audiences, agents are overworked, underpaid, overregulated, and they work, in my mind, for tips, because most often they don't get 5 or 6%, they get half of that amount. So in closing, my question would be, why not you? When you get a chance, check out our mentoring program at www.davedenkel.com. I wish you limitless success in everything you do.